Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a story about surviving and thriving despite a classic workplace Karen. This Karen was the epitome of office toxicity, rising through the ranks not with skill or hard work, but with a keen sense of opportunism and an unrivaled knack for bullcrap. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like if you enjoy the content, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a juicy story. Karen's career kill attempt. I knew and worked with my Karen for 20 years. The first 18 years we worked at arm's length. The last 2 years we worked closely together. Karen came from nothing, had no formal education and no certifications. A keen opportunist and in the right place at the right time. She was not bright or brilliant, yet she had a way at being completely and totally full of crap. Her story and success was impressive. A thief of concepts and ideas, a fluid yet poor liar to an expert in verbal and nonverbal communication, not prone to give credit to her teams, a knack for identifying personality types that would do their job, her job, and put in 60 to 70 hours per week for peanuts. Once you got to know her, you could sense the empty suit. For a variety of reasons, she rose through the ranks of global corporates. Imagine 10 unethical ways a person could climb, and she'd check off 9 of the 10 boxes on your list. Lo and behold, she landed at yet another company I worked for. I did not report to her. My brand was known, all efforts to market on time, within budget, exceeding earnings, and over time driving billions in revenue. Her real skill set was a series of third-rate cult leader tactics. She had to. She had no substance and was lazy, but hit it well. I am impossible to hypnotize, mesmerize, or gaslight. I'm fearless. I'm a passionate defender of my employees and grow careers. Karen and I ended up working closely together for 2 years. She was senior in rank, but I didn't report to her. My management stack was not favorable to her and was convinced she would not make it more than 2 years. She didn't. However, one can waste a lot of money, time, and morale during 2 years. At every meeting, trade show, call, etc., she said something stunningly unethical. At every dinner, social event, etc., it was worse. I resolved to basically ask in any given situation, what would Karen do? Then I did the opposite. I survived. Once she failed her way out of the company due to ethical infractions, bullying shared services employees, offending C-levels, insane expenses, and expressing her stupidity, lack of awareness, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and trust building, she was crap-canned in a spectacular manner. She was quite surprised by it, which is not surprising, given she was a Karen. Prior to being dumped, our 2 verticals had a small leadership meeting. Her concern was the strategy she was preparing for presentation to the CEO and senior leadership team had dragged for nearly 2 years. The strategy and business case should have been complete inside of 8 months. Not by assignment, by principle. She was preparing to begin gathering detail for finger pointing. Why are we not progressing? Her lapdog babbled. Then it was my turn. I shared. Your boys here are taking 6 months to work up a 15-slide PowerPoint. A PP a standard business person could assemble in a week. This is not a NASA project. Every time we set a 4-day strategy working session, whiteboarding meeting with a ton of travel and expense behind it, you arrive, spend half a day, then conveniently have to leave. When we have a 1-day meeting, 2 hours is spent on arranging an order from Starbucks, insist on going to pick it up, bring it back, serve, and an hour later it's lunch for 2 hours. An hour after lunch, it's getting ready for dinner and dinner. Great full day. Get 2 hours of cursory work done, waste of time. This is a software company. You have no experience with software. Your 2 hires have no experience with software. It's not a think tank or country club. You literally require a do not disturb for a week prior to a presentation to practice the presentation. A 30-minute presentation. If you remained informed, it'd roll off your tongue with less than a day's prep. You exclude the resources needed to make a buy, build, or partner decision from meetings where to buy, build, or partner assessment is being made with the target companies. You are actively moonlighting through consulting during the day and during a critical time. I know. Your clients are contacts who have informed me privately. You threaten shared services employees who do not report to you with their jobs, demand firing people on the spot for a comment, and bully veterans who make the magic happen. There was more. My boss was most entertained, his boss more than entertained. Looking back, it was better I did it in a meeting than privately. Not usually the case. About 2 months after Karen was ejected, I began receiving calls from industry contacts asking what happened, advising me to stay away from her, and that Karen was sharing I had been inappropriate with her. What the hell does that sound like during the midst of Me Too? I kept in careful touch with Karen's lapdog and let it be known subtly that if a person were to defame, slander, etc. me, it was a common practice of mine to issue a cease and desist. I always kept witnesses willing to testify and was well positioned financially to go the distance. That put an end to the whispering. I later learned the executive who hired Karen did so to intentionally fail the initiative and selected Karen as it was a sure bet Karen would F-job it, and did. I called a few contacts and learned the history for Karen was fired, inability to deliver, full of crap, delusional, among other things. A defining trait of a Karen is to seek to unjustly impede another's ability to earn a living. The only way to manage a Karen situation is being willing to go the distance if you can, otherwise take it till you can escape. The biggest jerk in this story is not the Karen, but rather the exec who brought her into your company because she'd tank a project. And our second story. Lady tried to take my Bath & Body Works coupon. I ran into the store during lunch because I thought it wouldn't be very busy. I was wrong. They mailed me a 20% off my entire purchase coupon, so I was going to buy a few of those scent pod things. Anyways, I have the coupon sticking out of the front pocket of my purse. Not super far, it was tucked in safely in front of my pocket. I don't know why anyone would notice it there. I never look at other people that closely anyhow when I'm out shopping. I kind of just keep my eye on the prize, so to speak. Not looking around at other people's purses, that's for sure. So I'm looking at these scent pods, smelling some, staying in my lane, and someone taps my shoulder. I turn around and this lady asks, "Are you going to use that coupon?" I'm really taken aback because I'm literally in the store that the coupon is for. If I'm shopping in the store with a coupon, I'm probably going to use it. So even though I'm usually polite, I'm shocked enough by being interrupted by such a brazen question that I'm like, "Yes, that's why I'm here." She says, "Oh, the 20% off coupon?" Me, "Yes." I try to turn back around. She taps me again. "Well, do you think they'll let us both use it?" Me, well, I don't think so." At this point, she changes her tone and gets rude with me. "Well, how do you know? Have you asked before?" Now, I'm not the most assertive person, so I was like, "Well, I could ask when I go up to the register." This lady holds her hand out and says, "Well, you can let me try it first, and then I'll ask them." And I'm standing there staring at her like, WTF, the audacity. And does she think I'm dumb? Like, sure, you use the coupon first on your stuff, then ask if I can use it when they'll inevitably say no, and I'll be the one to be out of luck? SMH. So I finally just say, "No, sorry, I'll ask when I go up," and then just turn around and walk a few steps away. I tuck the coupon in deeper into my pocket because at this point, she was bold and worried she'll just grab it. She watches me for a while, but I just keep looking at other things, trying to avoid eye contact. When I do go up to pay, the cashier just takes the coupon away and puts it in their register. I didn't even ask if I could use it again because I didn't want to be that person. Then I just quickly walked out of the store, eyes forward so I wouldn't have to see this woman again. And the thing is, she was already at the store with stuff in her bag. She was already planning to buy things. Nothing in that store's necessary. She just spied my coupon and was like, I could get this stuff cheaper. FFS. You need to learn sarcasm? The answer to her in a very sarcastic tone is, "No, I'm just taking up my lunch here to look around and pretend I'm looking at stuff to waste time, rather than actually eating, which is what I should be doing. However, if hell ever freezes over, I'd be more than happy to give you my coupon, which you obviously don't deserve since you don't already have one." Much nicer than just telling her to F off. And our last story. They wanted to lure us into the HOA. Many, many years ago, we were house hunting and finally found one that we both liked enough to agree on. A miracle, I tell you. The small neighborhood our house was in was established, but a community of new build homes was going up right next to and behind. Same builder company, same agencies involved, but the first neighborhood had been completed about 5 to 7 years before. The entire new build community would have an HOA, but the older neighborhood was HOA free. So far. Doing due diligence on the house, we came by at different hours, getting a feel for the neighborhood and talking to the neighbors. One of those visits, we were chatting with the gentleman who would be the next-door neighbor and found out the builders were trying to push their HOA onto this neighborhood without a lot of success, but they were still trying. We talked to our realtor who confirmed no HOA was in place, so we continued with the purchase and eventually got to a purchase price and settlement date. My husband can be, let's call it, detail-focused, and I'm often very grateful for it, because that man read every single page before signing, every one, so he got the addendum on one of the documents that would have made our home subject to, if I recall the wording correctly, rules and bylaws placed by community agencies to be determined. It required signatures, but didn't sign or initial that page, and the other realtor either didn't catch it or just didn't push it at that point. He was an idiot, so I can't be certain. There were other pages throughout the process, and it became obvious that the builder, or whomever, wanted both neighborhoods to be one happy little family under the HOA, so they were bringing the older homes into it as they were being sold. I am adamant about not living under an HOA. Even the supposed good ones can't be trusted, in my opinion. So we faxed, I said it was a long time ago, some of the pages to our lawyer. He and our realtor read and agreed that it was a little too close for comfort. We gave the other realtor 3 options. They pull all references to anything like an HOA from the paperwork, and we go on. We send the entire contract to lawyers to be reviewed for as long as it took, and we'd make sure it took a long time, holding up his clients and making a lot of noise in the neighborhood, or we'd walk. Remember, this was long before housing was in crisis. There was no bidding war, the house was lovely, but still on the market for months, but we'd been willing to pay slightly above asking price. We were getting things we wanted that made that offer valid, in our opinion. Pull the paperwork or screw his clients. He argued, we didn't budge, he made phone calls, we went to lunch. When we came back, we finished the paperwork with all the mention of anything resembling an HOA redacted. Longest dang settlement I've ever been in. Before we moved, they did get houses from our neighborhood moved over to their HOA. May even have them all now. It's been quite a while, but not ours. And my petty patty heart leapt with joy every time we got some notice or visit about our house being non-compliant. I loved watching the officious twerp's face fall when she realized she had no power over us. Ah, good times. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.